MTS graduate. So let's
Sorry
not
about that.
forget, right?
Oh, yes. It's hard for me to talk about. I wish he would have failed. I think I've mentioned that to all of you guys. I wish he was still here, but he's now like almost 6 feet tall, so it's
Morning.
probably weird. Good morning.
All right.
Um,
So Jen has been, she is one of us, in other words. So really quickly before we jump into our agenda, and Jen, I don't know if you're able to present yet, but we have kind of just a rough outline of an agenda. And for those of you, again, who are kind of new to this meeting, this meeting is one of the four meetings we have each year that the PA puts on, and it's really kind of a reporting out to our community. We try and always have um, a a special guest or a special appearance from our head of school. And then we like to have a special guest of some sort, whether it's a member of the Procom, professional community, or another parent. And then we give sort of relevant updates from our committee members out to the community. And and so later on in this meeting, we'll talk a little bit more about PA participation, how you can participate, some of those things. But right now, what I'd like to do is to hand it to Andrew Davis. And usually the prompt for him in these meetings is to kind of tell us a little bit about what's top of mind for him. And again, I hope you leave this meeting with, we try to make it interesting and informative and give you a little insight that you might not get somewhere else. And then also leave you with nothing else, a way to kind of reconnect with us and how to find us. So with that, I will hand it off to Andrew Davis if he is ready.
I am ready. You just put the
Great.
pressure on it. It's got to be like informative and something else you might not have gotten. So,
Interesting,
yeah, it's
informative,
interesting. Yeah, geez.
preferably funny. Yeah.
Pressure's on. Hopefully, this is up to the task. It's great to see you all. I also think it is very funny. I connected with a parent last night to talk about the intersection of his work and our school. Um, And we were laughing about how I am known as the simple, elided together Andrew Davis, all is one word. It is Andrew Davis. And I noticed, Sarah, thank you in your intro, being very clear that it's Andrew Davis. It is great to see many of you and to see your letters. I know it is first thing in the morning, and many of you, unlike us school people, are not necessarily camera ready this early in the morning, or you're commuting. So a few things that are top of mind for me. As I looked back, I used Perplexity's Comet browser and said, look at my calendar since the middle of August. What have I been spending the most time on? Which was kind of interesting to see what it had said. I also schedule all of my workouts for the week personally on Friday, like I put them in the evening or the early morning. And so it really thinks that one of my top priorities is working out and having lunch because I also schedule my lunch. But school related priorities of things that show up. Spending quite a bit of time on wrapping up our phase two construction project. Incredibly lucky to be working with Josh Corzine, a parent and board member, and Joelle Dodge, our director of finance and operations, who really are on the lead on that. But I get involved in really important conversations, such as the one that kicked off yesterday. Where's the Gaga pit going to go? So these things really matter. So phase two, a couple notes on the phase two project. We continue to track to having it totally open and ready and kids learning in those spaces for the beginning of 2026. So when the kids come back from winter break. Um, we are also right after outdoor ed, going to be meeting and looking at the kind of newly configured outdoor spaces, hardscaping, gardeny areas, and deciding on the benches that we are going to be putting out there. Those were really generously funded through last year's Fund a Need. So we'll be figuring out exactly what and how many of those we want and placing that order so that early in 2026 we have those here. And then very much related to that is continuing to put the foot on the gas pedal when it comes to our Into Action Capital campaign. The campaign has three components, one of which is the building. And we've raised 8 out of a $12 million working goal. and we need to get those last four. So that's something that I've been spending quite a bit of time, along with Nancy Kehoe and a number of other board member and parent volunteers through the campaign committee. So I clearly phase two is top of mind. Another piece that's top of mind for me, and we really have in action right now, is a new talent development program that we have for all adult roles on campus. So we are finishing up today, in theory, the goal setting process. So each teacher and program member having really clear goals that they've talked through with their manager. And then starting tomorrow, the beginning of October, we go into a new process, and I'll just talk briefly about the faculty process that was really developed from a lot of research of looking at what is best practice around teacher talent development and feedback, and landing on a system developed by a gentleman named Kim Marshall. And I think you always have to preface a gentleman named Kim Marshall. And Kim Marshall's system is all about unplanned or unannounced 10-minute visits by an administrator into a classroom, followed up with a conversation within about 48 hours that lands on a leverage point, a place where that teacher and administrator say, like, hey, here's something for you to work on and grow. With the idea being that these are not the typical teacher talent development has been around, okay, get ready for your big observation day. Let's meet ahead of time. Make sure to really shower up and blow dry your hair and come ready to present and wow us. And that's your write-up. It's very inauthentic. Rather, having these regular 10-minute visits throughout the year are just really an opportunity for the teachers and administrators. And we're also in some years doing teacher and teacher peer groups to really talk about, what'd you see? What are ways that I can get better, so that it really is this just meeting everybody where they are, with what's that next little thing that I could do to improve. Another piece that we will be launching for the first time in December is using, again, developed from Kim Marshall, incredibly robust teacher rubrics that our teaching faculty who were on the task force last year creating this just found really powerful, and that it outlines over 6 pages with about 9 to 11 items per page. What truly exceptional, what really good, what good, and what needs improvement teaching looks like across all of that. And we had some really amazing teachers on that committee, and they said, I really love this because it gave me ideas of ways that I could be even better. So we'll be launching that this year. So phase two, talent development. It wouldn't be Andrew Davis talking about the school year 25-26 if I didn't talk about artificial intelligence. And what is top of mind for me there is working with our teachers and then communicating with you all. What does it look like in practice, right? So we sent you all guidelines, so a vision and guidelines, so we developed what we call a strategic stance. And the phrase stance is very intentional because it is not a position. It is not a statement. It's a stance. And a stance to me, like an athletic stance, is one that could rapidly evolve and change. It is nimble. We have a vision. We have kind of age cohort guidance. And now we're working with teachers to really figure out, what does that look like in practice? And I just want to say a few notes on what that looks like in practice. One, we are being very cautious, particularly, so there's no AI in K2, or there's no student interaction with what you would think of generative AI in K2. And particularly in 3-5, we are being incredibly cautious. And even with our 6th through 8th graders, being really cautious and thoughtful and rolling it out slowly. And so as we're rolling that out, we will communicate it with you all so that you know what that looks like. The lack of what does it exactly look like in our early communications was intentional in that we hadn't figured that out yet. And we want to move slowly through this year and really be looking to things that we really think are going to be valuable and effective at maintaining what I love about this school, which is the critical thinking, the creativity, the human to human connection. Um, and so we're going to be continuing to be developing that and to be sharing that with all of you as we do that. And then the last thing that's top of mind for me today is last spring, Nick Wilsey, our head of middle school, said, "Hey, what do you think about going on the eighth grade outdoor ed trip?" And I was like, "I love backpacking. I used to lead 25-day long summer backpacking trips. Sign me up." And now that I'm getting ready to leave on Monday and realizing that when I'll be back, it's going to be the middle of October, I'm like, what the heck did I sign up for? So I'm both very excited and also like, oh my gosh, how is this all going to work out? So that's what's top of mind for me. I'm really excited that you all are hearing from Tanya next. I wrote a blog post that I don't know if it's gone live actually, about our first gather of the year, which just blew me away on all fronts. I'm writing that down on my to-do list to make sure that that blog post has gone live, and if not, it will. Uh, Blown away by our first gather on so many fronts,
Yeah, Kai's
really
at school
fronts
already, honey.
led by Tanya. And in particular, I was just struck and amazed by when our second graders talked about a cultural celebration and a cultural heritage, the depth of their understanding. That it was not this little superficial level, but the depth of their understanding. And I think that's really exciting for our students. So with that, I'm going to hand it off to Tanya, and I'm going to go get my picture taken before the weather does bad things to my hair.
Thank you, Andrew. You did a great job. You ticked all the boxes, so well done. Next up, we have our spotlight guest speaker, who is not a stranger to any of you and is going to talk to us not only about some of what she's working on here at school, but how it kind of ties into the PA and how we're kind of really supporting her and her efforts. Without further ado, Tanya Lemon.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you. It's nice to be here today. Thanks for inviting me. So, Sarah, I put all these transitions on here because that's how always I make a slide deck. So everything's revealed bit by bit. So I'll just say next if that's okay, so that you'll hit the thingy. Is that okay?
That is great, Jen. Jen's manning the slide deck, so I think
Okay.
we're all set.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so next. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about, give you an sort of like an overview of maybe some things I haven't given details in our curriculum nights, just a little bit. And then I'm gonna show you how you as parents and guardians can participate. Um, so as you see right here on this chart, there's an A year and a B year to our heritage celebrations. And for anyone who's not aware of what we're doing, what we did basically is we took all of like a lot of heritage celebrations that are represented at our school, found basically by surveying the families and finding out what's important, what matters. Um, and we put them on a schedule so that we can acknowledge and learn. And the idea here is that we have the opportunity to do a deeper dive into heritage. Who are the people of the United States? Who are the people in our community? So that our students, K through 8, over the course of a K through 8 education, have the opportunity to just learn more than the surface. So they can go out into the world with some knowledge, with some questions, with some awareness, with some connection, and that's connection within our own community, and connection beyond. And so that's the idea here. So if you see on the left, that's an A year, and you see on the right, that's a B year. This year we're in an A year, and so what you see is, for example, kindergarten is doing immigrant awareness. They're learning about that in January. And they're also doing spring celebrations. They're learning about that in March. They will learn about both of those topics, but they will only present at a gather on the A year. So this year's immigrant awareness. Next year they'll present on spring celebrations. So it goes back and forth so that the whole community every other year experiences one of these. Does this make sense? Thumbs up? Okay, great. Can we, next, please, Jen? So the way in which some of these other things, some of the other sort of like the larger picture, that's the curricular picture. That's what's happening in classrooms. Anything beyond that is just teachers that are passionate or aware of certain things, and they teach them as they will. So maybe teachers are going to talk about Black History Month, and perhaps it's not the fourth grade. Some other teachers will talk about those things. This program is an attempt to make sure that we have a deeper dive. Okay. So all the other things will be happening all the time, including other celebrations that we've had. So annually, we always do Dia de los Muertos, and we do Lunar New Year. And I highlighted Dia de los Muertos because we're looking for a parent lead. This is where you come in for Dia de los Muertos to collaborate with us on that, and to work with Barbara and Sophia. So that's one area of participation. We also put the big three holidays for wintertime on a rotating schedule. Last year we did Christmas. You might have heard about that. We like took a deep dive into what is this? How does it relate to winter solstice? How is it cultural? How is it religious? Um, and then we had a whole reenactment of the nativity scene, which was super fun and interesting. And then this year we're doing Hanukkah. So if there's are there any people who are thinking like, I'd like to get involved in that planning of that and think about how that might go? People can get involved in that too. Next year's Kwanzaa. And then every year we'll have special programming for Black history and women's history on alternating years. And so this is sort of like the scope of what it looks like. Pride will happen in May, mental health awareness will happen in April, Pride will happen in June, mental health awareness in April. And then we will always have a bit on neurodiversity at every single gather that we have. And I say that just so that you can see the gamut of sort of like, how are we looking at heritage? How are we making sure that we're learning about who we are as Americans? And then beyond that, there's more diversity beyond that. And so when you look at my picture again, you can just go ahead and hit them all, Jen. Hit all the last ones. I think there are three. One, two, three. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So if you go back, I keep showing this ice cream, and I want you to see that spoon there. You've got to have the skills to enjoy that ice cream and to really engage. And so in our classes with all of this heritage program, I want you to know that we are intentionally teaching using the Learning for Justice standards. And so we're incorporating some very real intentionality to what is it to reach across difference? What is it to appreciate my culture and that of another? And so we're really thinking about those things on a deeper level. Um, and then on the teacher end and the whole program level end, we're looking at something called the identity conscious educator. And so what you're seeing is the visible heritage celebration portion. And there's also internal work happening to help us develop that spoon and make that spoon really effective and strong so we can totally enjoy that fabulous Sunday, if that makes sense. The area that all of you can participate and help is in the special recess snack and Dia de los Muertos, things like that, and Hanukkah celebrations, planning those celebrations. And so you might have noticed that I put out uh, in the MTS volunteer opportunities, I put up a little sign up about leading those opportunities. So I'm looking for folks who can lead those opportunities. The ones that we have left right now are Asian American Heritage, Black History Month. We have people who are willing to do that, both of those, but they're also saying like, but if someone else would like to, we'll step aside because we kind of do these every year. So I do have people who are willing to do those too. But if other folks are interested in stepping in, that's an opportunity. And then we also have Ramadan Eid, Arab American Heritage, and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Month. And so we're looking for folks who want to lead those, and then I'll collaborate with you to arrange volunteers and have a celebration on campus, which I have to say is a really special addition to the learning that happens at Gather and in the classroom. And so I think I basically covered it all. If you have any questions about any of this, I would love to hear those, or answer any questions that you have. Sarah, please.
Yeah, one thing I think would be maybe helpful when you talk about leading these, it really is planning and organizing. Is it that special recess snack piece? It's not the actual curriculum in the classroom. You're not taking on a whole
Mhm.
lesson plan or anything. It's just kind of organizing this kind of fun, yummy event on campus, which is the special recess snack. Is that right?
It is. That's the
Okay. Great.
sprinkles. Yeah, the
Great.
teachers in the schools in charge of the the portion of the Sunday, the big portion, and the sprinkles are always better.
Great.
So that's the analogy. Thanks for
I
bringing
like
that
to
up,
be the
Sarah.
sprinkles. Great.
Yeah,
Thank
we need the
you.
sprinkles. The sprinkles are great. But I think part of that is to say, parents, it's not, you don't have to be responsible for the learning. You don't have to feel that your heritage is not going to be represented. The idea is that heritage is represented. That's the responsibility of the school to make sure we take those deep dives. And the job of families and support is to celebrate with us. If there are any questions, I'm always here. Please always, always know that. And thank you so much for letting me come and share.
Thank you, Tanya.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions before we kind of move on to the more PA focused part of our presentation here? Well, I think everyone knows where to find you, Tanya. So if there's questions, we will head them your way.
All right.
Uh,
I'm going to hop off if that's okay. Hindu American Heritage in sixth grade is happening and they need help getting their presentations together. So I'm gonna go.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks so much.
These are just some links we wanted to include. And Jen, do you want to kind of talk a little bit about the multicultural potluck? Because this is very much kind of a community fun activity that I know that you are put a lot of work into. So you want to give us a little bit of update on that, and then there's a link to RSVP and sharing here.
Totally, I can. And I see, Tanya, are you still here?
I am.
Do you want
I
Oh,
am. Sure, sure. I realized, wait, there's one more slide. I should probably stay. So the multicultural potluck, that's uh, I think I don't know how long we've been doing this. It used to be called the International Potluck. Um, so it's the multicultural potluck, meaning anyone who wants to come and join in and share a dish from your family. It can be heritage, like we all have a heritage, we all have a story, and it's told oftentimes by the dishes that we share as a family. And so the idea is bring your dish and share it with our community. Last year we did this. I found it to be just one of the most pleasant, happy sharing opportunities. Very chill. It's on a Friday afternoon from 5 to 7. Nobody needs to get dressed up for anything. You can just show up with your kids and they play and we eat and we enjoy. And so there's an RSVP there. Our hope is that we can collect the RSVP so we know how many people are coming. We do have, a parking limit. Um, and it is for sharing what dish you're bringing. There's also, Jen, I don't know if it's on this link, but there's also just the ingredient list so we can make sure that everyone, when they approach a dish, they know, can I eat this dish? Can my kids eat this dish? And then what we really want to do is collect the recipes and make a little recipe book for everybody. Um, that's the plan. Jen, do you have anything to add to that?
Just to kind in case there's some questions, we try to kind of simplify the um registration process. So you can say the name of your dish and then just identify any food allergies that are kind of common, nuts, dairy, um, gluten, anything like that. That's kind of an easy checklist. And then just what we're thinking for the cookbook is we're actually just going to create a digital cookbook at the end, and hopefully we can carry this on like from year to year. So if it's not a deep family secret recipe, which we will absolutely respect, please share your recipe. Contact me directly if it's confusing or difficult to do it on the form. But that's what we're envisioning. So we hope everyone can come. Like as Tony said, it's a really chill evening. And just I think that a plug for last year, I mean, I think dishes ranged from really specific, maybe great grandma's recipes from Europe or from Africa or from your grandma who made fried chicken in Texas. There was a lot of range of savory, sweet, really sticky bread. So the whole thing. So bring your appetite.
I think someone brought pizza too. So
There you go.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it then for the potluck. So
Yeah. And one thing I do want to say about the potluck, because this is definitely backed by popular demand. After the pandemic, this was one of the things where people were like, hey, when is the potluck? So I think it's definitely a wonderful MTS tradition. So yeah, encourage everyone to check that out and to sign up.
okay,
All right.
I'm gonna try the next slide now. There we go.
All right. So now we're kind of jumping into the PA portion of our meeting. And I think what we wanted to do here, Haley and I, is really just kind of, again, it's the beginning of the year. There's a lot of new faces here. Just kind of give an overview and lay out a little bit for what we see for the year ahead. And we do actually have some exciting new opportunities. And so really focusing on sharing those and kind of what's on the horizon. So I don't know, Haley, do you want to kind of talk to a little bit of this and we can kind
Yeah,
of tag team together?
absolutely. Again, thank you all for hanging on with us. I know it's 9 o'clock, but yeah, we'll try to be quick as possible. But as a parent association, we first of all view everybody at the school, any parents, any caregivers, as being in the parent association. So it's not a group you have to join, it's a group you are already part of. And that means you can get as involved as you'd like, or you can show up quarterly for these meetings, or you can do nothing if this is not your year. But overall, we view ourselves as a group of volunteers really looking to build a strong, connected school community because I think we all benefit from that, and so do our children. And our goal overall is just to foster positive relationships between families, school, broader community, and really just make the experience of being at MTS a very positive one. So we hope that whether you're a new family or you've been here forever, we hope that you will consider getting involved in some way and dip your toe in and just see what it's like for you this year, because we welcome your time, your ideas, and anything really that you have to offer. We're definitely wanting to make this an open group, and we really do welcome anything you have to offer. So thank you in advance for getting involved. We're looking forward to working with you and having just a wonderful year.
Yeah. And one other thing I just want to throw in there is that, today you'll be seeing some faces and hearing some voices of our PA committee chairs, but there's over 15. And so I think we're really excited for you guys to get to know them and to start participating this year. So yeah, that's kind of our overview. Okay, so this one I'll just quickly speak to because we don't want to hit you over the head too many times with this, but we're really trying to beat the drum that if you want to get involved, there's a few hopefully simple ways for you to do that. The first is, I think you'll hear this from the school and from us, just read MTS 1. If you do nothing else and you want to stay informed, MTS 1 is the place to do that. And from our side of the PA, our vow is to always have any updates, opportunities in MTS 1 and in Parent Square. So watch MTS 1. There will always be links to signups in Parent Square. And the MTS Volunteer Opportunities Group is something that you can join, and that will opt you into getting these updates. It's also somewhere you can navigate to if you want to scroll through and see all the opportunities in one place. So that's kind of how we're organizing it. And then in terms of if you want to get more involved in the PA and actually what we're working on and some of the topics we're discussing, you can join our MTS Parent Association group in Parent Square. Again, you can join this, you can leave it. It's very flexible, but when you join it, you will get updates about sort of more of the details and the working internal parts of things that the PA is working on, committee opportunities. If you want to join, if you want to lead, we would like to hear from you, and that is the place for you to join to kind of really connect with us. The next piece is something new that we're sort of restarting this year, which is monthly working meetings for the PA. So this is a time for members of the PA who are working on committees or events to kind of earmark time on our calendars every month that this is when we're going to get together. And whether it's joining a Zoom or in person, we're just going to get together and have kind of working conversations. What we're gonna do for the broader community is share the agenda ahead of time. So if there's something on there that you're interested in, you can join. Otherwise, you can skip it. It's totally optional, but we're going to really try and create this sort of another venue for us to work together as a group and collaborate. And it should be fun too. We want to have some fun. And then lastly, again, are these quarterly meetings that are out to the community that we're having right now. So hopefully that is pretty clear. We're going to kind of not include this every time, but we thought for our kickoff meeting, this was good to just walk through one more time. So, all right.
Perfect. Great. Thank you, Sarah. And then I think as Sarah touched on, within the PA, we have quite a few committees and we have around two parent volunteers to chair these different committees. And so today we've invited, excuse me, we've invited a few of the committee chairs who have some sort of upcoming event or activity to kind of give updates where needed. And so, I've got a couple of these listed here, but actually first thing we want to pitch is the Performing Arts Committee needs two new co-chairs. And there's a link on this presentation if you are interested in learning more about that opportunity, or if you want to raise your hand to potentially take on some of that responsibility. And I think this year, we're hopefully going to have like a lower school representative and maybe somebody from the upper school, or just two eager parent volunteers to really help Lindsay organize like the vast costume closet that we have. We have a storage facility for like props and different things that have been used over the years for our wonderful performing arts group at MTS. And so if you want to help out and you want to get involved, and maybe you have a past in theater and you just really want to get back into that, this is a wonderful opportunity for you to take on a fun job. I think it's going to be a really fulfilling and exciting opportunity for some parents that maybe want to find their place at MTS. So please let us know if this is something that you might want to get involved in. And then just a couple of upcoming opportunities. I don't know if Rebecca and Lara are on, but we've got our annual pumpkin patch coming up, which is super exciting. It is held on Halloween, and they are busy planning for an awesome day for the kids. And if this is something that you would like to get involved with, I highly recommend that you raise your hand and sign up for some of these volunteer slots, because it is a really fun day where the kids are dressed up in costumes and we literally do a pumpkin patch and kids walk away with a pumpkin, and it is such a fun day. So if you have a morning to spare, I think this is a wonderful opportunity to get involved. So again, Rebecca and Laura are the two who are heading that up. So thank you, both of you, for volunteering to organize that.
And Laura and Rebecca, if you're on, could you just say a quick hello so people can see your face?
Sure. I think Rebecca's on and can wave. I don't know if that will make her screen. There she is. Hi. So just to echo what Haley said, super exciting. And if anyone's interested, reach out to us. Rebecca and I will send around a note soon soliciting volunteers for some of the fun events, but it's a really great day, as Haley mentioned.
Great. And as the sign up police, I would like to say the sign up will be in Parent Square in the MTS Volunteer Opportunities group. So, thank you guys so much for stepping up. The pumpkin patch was like my baby for many years. It's so fun and it's in great hands this year. Thank you, Rebecca and Laura.
Of course, we're so excited. It's so fun. So we'll be reaching out soon.
Perfect. And next up is our community service committee at MTS is going to be led by Joanna Boucher and Tara Henning this year. And I don't know if either one of you are on, but if you'd like to give an update on some of the things you guys are working on, I know they have quite a few things in the works. So if you would like to say something. Otherwise, I'm happy to cover it.
Sure. I can't see Joanna on my screen. I know she's there.
I'm here. Morning.
Guys.
Hi. I can just quickly say, like, we're really excited to kind of kick off the Community Service Committee at MTS. And we really want to bring vetted family-led opportunities throughout Marin and San Francisco to the MTS community. And so whether that's like one-offs or it's monthly or ongoing events, we really want to just see this as an opportunity to leverage what either is already happening in the classrooms or just bring new ideas and opportunities to families. And so we're rolling out things coming up, working with the Redwoods, the senior living community in Mill Valley for some reading and crafting opportunities, talking to Wild Care and Canine Companions, and also the SF and Marin food banks, just to name a few. And we just kind of wanted to put the plug out there. If anybody is involved, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. So if anybody's already involved in organizations that they've done with, and family focus, because sometimes it's hard to find things for younger children to participate in. But if you found something that you loved and your family had a great time, please reach out to Joanna and myself, because we'd love to add that to the mix. And we're just really excited about launching this and kind of getting some opportunities, not only just for looking at classes, but variety of student ages and families. And we really see this as an opportunity to build community, and not only to give back, but to build community within MTS. So please let us know if there's anything that you would love to see or if you've already done. So thank you.
Great.
One thing I always like to say, I would just want to make a point of this, is that this community service committee, this is something that our own PA here and Haley helped to start. So this is a really great example of how our community gives feedback about where we want to focus and how we want to organize. So thank you, and here's to more of that this year.
Absolutely. And yeah, moving on, there's a library committee that we've got a handful of parents involved in, and we actually have Joanna on today to talk about two upcoming opportunities in November that are lovely opportunities. If you would like to cover those, Joanna.
Yeah. Hi, good morning, everyone. Just a few quick updates on those. We have two great community building events coming up. This November, we have our Book Passage Holiday Book Talk on November 19th. And it's a really fun way to kick off the holidays. Elaine Petrelli has been the owner for 45 years and puts together a curated list every year that she shares with us. And it's a fun way to kick off holiday shopping and get some of your gifts early. And 15% of that goes back to the school library. So that's great. And then we're also rolling out something new this year, an MTS Parent Book Club that will have ongoing monthly reads and will be meeting once a quarter. And that's actually going to be moderated by Anne Solner, who I know many of you know, but she is a parent and also one of our Mill Valley librarians. So we're lucky to have her on board for that. And that's why I have more opportunities to come soon too.
Thank you, Joanna. I'm excited for this book club. That's great.
Yeah.
No, it should be a lot of fun. Nice way to bring community together too.
Thanks for kicking this off.
All right, and then the last item that I think we want to cover related to just committee updates is the used uniform store. I don't know if Brianne or Sabrina are on, but
I'm here.
Hi, Brianne.
Hi. I'm Brianne Cook, and Sabrina and I head up the used uniform store. Just a couple of updates. First of all, we are really trying to go through our inventory and make sure it's really organized. We have very quality items for you guys. So we are looking for a couple of volunteers on October 14th, right after drop off, to just kind of sort through everything we have and donate what is not in great condition. And for now, we are pausing on donations. So if you have those donations, just go ahead and, first of all, make sure they're in great condition, something that you would want to put your kid in that you would be willing to buy. Nothing with holes or stains. And yeah, so be looking for another collection date here once we go through our inventory. If anyone's interested in signing up to help organize, October 14th, right after drop off, it's in Parent Square.
That's great. And just again, a really quick plug for the work, all the work that you and your team are doing. They kind of help. There's an online used uniform store. I hope everyone already is aware of that. Everything is very affordable. I think everything is $5. And it's a really important part of, our school and our experience for families. So all the fulfillment of those orders, making sure that not only do we have the online store operating, but pop-ups at school events, that's all Brianna and her team. So thank you for that. And yeah, we will make sure to get you some support as you go through this big cleanup and clean out and get ready for the year ahead. So thank you. All right. Cool. So this is kind of a visual of the committee chairs that we have today, the different groups. I think that, one of the things that Haley and I are working on is sort of a process for helping take all of your great ideas and, sort of help you create groups to form them and then launch them as part of our PA umbrella. And so while this is kind of the set of committees that we have today, I think that there's potential for more in different things or expanding kind of the scope of what each one of these does. And really that kind of depends on you all. And again, this is something we want to share the load. We always want to have at least 2 chair people, if not more. This is not stressful. This is hopefully, as Haley said earlier, this is a way for us to be connected and to really have a wonderful experience here at MTS as families. So, yeah, I don't know, Haley, is there anything anything else you wanted to?
Yeah, I think in general, I think that if you look at this list and something speaks to you and you think that you might want to get involved, we'll maintain a sign up list as activities are coming up and they need volunteers. But I think if you want to get involved in any of this, reach out to us or reach out to these folks directly and tell them that you would love to, get more involved because I think there's plenty of work to go around. There are plenty of wonderful ideas. It's just a matter of we need, parent volunteers to take action and get things done. And I think if you have an idea that you feel the school could really benefit from, I mean, I know we've received a lot of ideas just this year, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear those ideas, and hopefully, if even if you're not willing to be the one to like execute, just raising your hand and saying, "Hey, I think the school really needs that." Let's do it, and then we'll see where we can, find people to head it up and make it happen. So thank you in advance for all of your ideas.
And I think that some of our monthly working meetings are when we'll really kind of come together and take a look at the sort of the ideas, what we have in the works, and talk through kind of as a community what is really resonating, what we want to prioritize, and sort of take next steps to work with the school to make some of these things happen. So again, a little bit of a plug for those monthly working meetings if you want to join.
And the monthly meetings are virtual or?
Good question. So we always want to have a virtual option because we know that, people are busy and working and all over the place, and that's fine. So we'll always have a way to probably Zoom in. I think Zoom is kind of seems to work. But then we also want to try and have an in-person component. So whether it's just a laptop that we set up with the Zoom and that's part of the group, whether we're trying to meet in kind of accessible, open public places. Maybe it's a cafe, maybe it's someone's home. We're kind of figuring it out, but more information will come ahead of those meetings. And the next one is, did we settle on the 9th or the 10th? I think it's the 9th.
9th, yeah.
Of October. So we'll be getting that info out to you soon. We'll be posting it in the MTS Parent Association group, and probably also have it in MTS 1 as well. So more to come.
Next slide.
All right, questions. Um, we've kind of gone over a lot, so let us, does anyone out there have any questions? Are you new? Did we miss anything? Let us
I have
know.
one question. Hi, thank you guys. This has been super informative and helpful. And I think as a new parent, a lot of us are looking forward to getting involved and trying to figure out how to do that. And this is super, super helpful. So I just had a question about the performing. My husband and I work in the performing arts, so it's sort of a no-brainer that we might get involved with that. But I see that there's nobody on it. So in terms of reaching out to someone about that, who, how, do we just
Yeah.
or direct email address or Lindsay or I don't know.
So there, yeah, so there is and there's a link. I think there should be a link in this presentation, but if not, we'll put it there. There's also in Parent Square, we have put out a form where you can read the description, the responsibilities, and then you can put in your name and if you have any experience, a little bit about that experience. That will come straight to Haley and I. And what we're going to do is when we get some interest, we'll reach out to you guys directly and chat with you, answer any questions you have, and then connect you with Lindsay. And really, we hope to make a decision by the end of October. We'd love to have folks in place because Lindsay's very organized, and if any of you have seen any of the performances at MTS, just that department does an incredible job. So we really are excited to help kind of get them the support they need to get off and running. But we will also, yeah, we'll put a link in this chat here. And I think there's one in the presentation as well. And it's in Parent Square in the MTS Volunteer Opportunities group.
And
Is
Kelly,
that
I can go ahead and I'll email that to you after the meeting, just so you don't have to look for it.
Thank you.
Mhm. And happy to just let you guys know there's a little bit of crossover. There was an eighth grade parent who was the previous chair. So she's available for questions to talk about it. And Lindsay wants to be a really good resource so that whomever the volunteers are that come forward, there's, all questions can be answered and you understand what you're signing up for and the fun all
Yeah.
the fun will be and the craziness that people who put on those amazing performances understand.
Yeah, I think there's questions about time commitment and things like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you to Michelle Mangelli, who is in doing this role before. She did a fantastic job, and she has an eighth grader now, so she gets to just step back and yeah. So thank you. All right.
Is that it? Should I go to the next slide? Is that
I think that's it. We just wanted to leave a little blank space at the end to kind of let people speak up if they wanted to ask any questions. But
before you close out, and unless there's any other questions, I just want to thank Haley and Sarah for all the background work that you've done and getting prepared for today and trying to really make a space for parents and the parent association to be more accessible, understandable, all of those words. So I think this has been really informative and hopefully for everyone on the call, you feel comfortable, reaching out to them, reaching out to me, reaching out to other parents, spreading the word. Not everyone, I think, had time to join this call today. We'll go ahead and share the link of the recording in MTS One. But I think one of the goals of the different committees and the different projects that the PA is doing is really trying to find different ways for parents to plug in whatever works for you. And so whether it's a personal interest or your time, all of those things are just really trying to take that into consideration and do our best. So and their best. And so that's why the form, if you have suggestions or you have an idea, I mean, the book club is so clever. It's so fun for all many different reasons. But thank you again to Haley and Sarah. I think this has been great and hope to see everybody in person probably in January at a PA meeting. We had to do this by Zoom because of the construction and just because I think it's funny when we couldn't use the gym, that would have been the only space because every day PE happens in gym while performing arts classes happen on the stage, behind stage, and in the rooms that are next adjacent. So it's like a lot of busy Tetris happening at the school right now.
well, and thank you, Jen Baker. We could not do any of this without you. You are the best. So we are so grateful for all that you do too and help us make all these great things come to life. So thank you. that's a great place to wrap up, I guess.
Pleasure. All right, everybody have a great rest of your day, and see you at 3:15.
Thank you all. Have a good one.
All right, bye guys. Thank you.